the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people. We also acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13 with the Mississaugas of the Credit. In accordance with Sections 45 and 53 of the Planning Act, 1990 as amended, this meeting of the Committee of Adjustment of the City of Toronto is called to order. The Committee of Adjustment considers applications for variances from the provisions of the zoning bylaw that apply to the property, permission to extend or alter lawful non-conforming uses, and consent to sever property to create new lots. Anyone in attendance today who wants to receive a copy of the decision of the committee on any application must complete a decision request form, and these forms are available in the hearing room today. Please ensure that you include your email address on this form because TLAB will be sending notifications and appeal updates by email. Once completed, please give the card to a staff member seated to my right. If you do not agree with the decision of the committee, decisions may be appealed to the Toronto Local Appeal Body, also known as TLAB, or in some limited circumstances to the Local Planning Appeal Tribunal, known as LPAT. Appeal instructions are set out at the bottom of the committee's decision. To ensure a fair and timely hearing, I will vet the agenda to determine which applications can be dealt with immediately and which applications have individuals other than the applicant or agent who wish to address the committee. I will call each item in the order listed on the agenda and will ask for individuals to identify themselves. If there are people in interest, the matter will be held until all non-contested applications have been dealt with. If your item is held, we strongly encourage the applicant or agent to meet with the interested parties outside of the hearing room to discuss and/or resolve concerns or issues. If no person is present in interest, the item will be called in the order listed on the agenda for non-contested applications. When an application is uncontested, the agent or applicant will proceed with his or her presentation, if required, and the committee may ask questions and/or take the matter into committee for a decision. Each speaker, including the applicant or agent, will be given a maximum of 5 minutes to address the committee, and I'll let you know when you're reaching the 5-minute mark. When addressing the committee, please come forward to the podium, clearly state your name and address. Please remember to confine your remarks to the matters outlined in the application. If you have a written submission that you read from, please hand it to the Deputy Secretary Treasurer when you are done. The applicant or agent will proceed first and make a presentation to the committee of the application. Please note that the committee may not entertain extensive revisions to proposals at the hearing today. The committee may decide to defer an application if substantially revised to ensure that the revised application is accurate and that all those entitled to notice are informed of the changes. Then, individuals either in support or opposed to the application will be invited to speak. If there are several speakers sharing the same view, please select a spokesperson to present the group's opinion. We want to hear your views, however, covering the same points is not required, nor will it advance your cause. Committee members may ask questions of each speaker, and when all speakers are finished, the applicant or agent has an opportunity to rebut only those issues that were raised by the speakers. This will mark the end of discussions. The application will then be taken into committee for a decision. Madam Deputy Secretary Treasurer, have the Chair and committee members confirmed the meetings from the last public hearing?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Panel members, I need a motion to adopt the minutes. Moved by Mr. Nichols, seconded by Ms. Valentini. All in favor? Okay. The minutes are adopted. Okay, are there any declarations in this morning time slot, panel members or staff? Madam Deputy Secretary Treasurer, are there any files to be closed? Or withdrawn?
Madam Chair, there's application A1133/19 TEY for 111 Leslie Street. The applicant has withdrawn the application and they would not be entitled to a refund because they had a notice issued for a hearing on December 17th.
Okay. Panel members, I'll need a motion to close the file.
I'll bring a motion forward to close the file with that refund.
By Ms. Valentini, seconded Mr. Nip. Are there any applicants here who wish to withdraw their application? Seeing none. Madam Deputy Secretary Treasurer, are there any deferral requests in the morning slot?
I haven't received any, but I think as a go forward, rather than deferring off
Right.
of that, we'll just see who's here. Vet the agenda first.
I thought I would ask first, is there anybody here who wants to defer an application? Which application is it, sir? So the first one. Is there anyone here for 114R Baldwin Street? Okay, sir, can you, the two of you, please step outside the room and just discuss the deferral only, and then after I vet the agenda, we'll deal with that. Okay? Thank you. Okay. Also, I just want to let everybody know this is our first time using laptops only. So please bear with us as we kind of muddle through this today. So things might be a little bit slower than normal, but hopefully not. We'll do our best. So I'm now going to vet the agenda. So item number 1, they are just having a discussion about the deferral. Item number 2 is 165 Booth Avenue. And as well for 167 Booth. Is there anyone here that would like to speak to this application? Okay. Items number 4 and 5, 85 and 87 ALDWYCH Avenue. Anybody here in interest? Item number 6, 35 Hunter Street. 35 Hunter. Okay, we'll hold that. Item 7 is rescheduled. Item number 8, 50 Allen Avenue. Okay, is there anybody here in interest for 50 Allen? No. Number 9, 1100 King Street West. Anyone in interest? Item number 10, 178 Howland Avenue. Anyone in interest? Item number 11, 871 Richmond Street West. Anyone in interest? Item number 12, 160 Front Street West and 43 SIMCOE Street. Anyone in interest? Item 13, 318 Rhodes Avenue. Anyone in interest? Yes? Okay. The applicant, did you see who's here in interest? Can you both put up your hands and perhaps we'll have a conversation outside the room? We're the applicant for Rhodes. Can you stand up again? Okay, there's your opposition. If you can go outside the room and have a conversation, please. Item number 14, 164 Montrose Avenue. Yeah. Anyone in interest? Item number 15, 536 Arlington Avenue. Anyone in interest? Item 16, 423 Sackville Street. Anyone in interest? Item 17, 61 Tiverton. Anyone in interest? Item number 18, 40 Alder Road. Anyone in interest? Item number 19, 72 Queensdale Avenue. Anyone in interest? Item number 20, 497 Roxton Road. Anyone in interest? Item number 21, 32 Beatty Avenue. Anyone in interest?
Through you, Madam Chair, I'm going to declare an interest on the last item. As, yep, the agent has a business relationship with relative.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, so the item 35 Hunter, is the applicant here yet? No? Okay, 114R Baldwin, they're still outside? Okay, so then we'll start with item 2 and 3, 165 and 167 Booth Avenue. Okay. Panel members, we have before us copy of the plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations. We have staff report from community planning. We have forestry asking for condition number 2 and correspondence in support from 163 Booth Avenue, and that's the same for both these items. Panel members, actually, can I have your name and address, please?
Good morning, Madam Chair and committee members. My name is Adam Brander, and my address is 49 Bolton Avenue.
Panel members, do you need a presentation, or can we go straight to questions? Okay, anyone have any questions?
In terms of the variances that are before us, the one thing that I would like you to speak to is the variance you're requesting for a reduction in front yard setback, I believe.
Yeah.
I noticed the houses are now going to be built further up from where they originally stand, and I also noticed that there's an enclave of houses setback. So if you could speak to that, that'd be helpful.
With your permission, Madam Chair, could I hand out a infographic on the setback?
You can, which reminds me that we are going electronic, so we'll take it today, but we're going to need this stuff in advance.
Okay.
Okay? Or if you can use the overhead, then yeah, I guess that's okay. But just to everyone in the room, staff is going to, as we're going paperless, staff needs to get all the materials electronically in advance.
So speaking to the setback, the front yard setback of the proposal might seem out of keeping with the formula by which the setback is determined. That this discrepancy we find would only be limited to how it appears numerically. If we look at the intent of the front yard averaging, its purpose is to establish a consistent or flowing street edge condition in the neighborhood. If we look at a framed plan view section, which is what we're looking at here, of the subject property, we see this. The subject property, one building to the south and two to the north, are kind of at odds with and substantially deviating from the prevalent front yard setback on the street. And these properties were initially constructed at a time that predates bylaws and current planning principles. So although requiring a variance to proceed with this now, it's expected that over time, as these applications should always be considered, this proposal would take a first step in corrective rework of the street edge. So on the left, we see an orange area that shows this area where some of the properties are deviating. In the middle, we're showing our proposed in blue, kind of matching up with the street edge condition. And on the right, the suspicion or inferences that over time, the other properties there that are kind of aging as well will come up and match the street edge condition. And the planning report that also speaks to this at a bit more brevity, but it kind of reiterates our understanding as well.
Okay.
Have neighbors, I think one neighbor's weighed in terms of adjacent neighbors, is in terms of impact. My assumption will be given that there's this little sort of section of the street setback. I believe one house might have already been redeveloped.
Yep.
So that will be set back as is. But is there any feedback from neighbors on that?
Yeah, we spoke with the neighbor to the south, and he has intent to rebuild soon.
South Main 163.
163.
Okay, so that's why they're in support. They're tending to maybe rebuild soon.
Yeah, so it would make sense for them. And I see some of the properties to the north are kind of falling apart, but in a state of where work will be done on them imminently, or rather than sit in their derelict kind of condition.
What about the property to the north adjacent, the one that has been redeveloped? Has there been any feedback from that neighbor?
Yeah, we spoke with them. They didn't have any opposition, but they aren't here either.
Panel members, any further questions? Okay, take it into committee. Any comments or a motion? We can do both at the same time, Madam Deputy Secretary Treasurer?
For you, Madam Chair, urban forestry just has two different conditions. One is for 165, it's urban forestry condition 2, and 167, it's urban forestry condition number 3. Otherwise, the planning staff recommended conditions are the same for both. So if you want to do one motion, just indicating that the two.
I'm actually showing the report says both
One is for 2, so 165.
I'm looking at the report with, I'm showing,
Oh, they both have 2. They've revised. Oh, that's on the revised report. The first report had 2 and 3. Sorry, it was revised. They're both condition number 2 now. So you can do one motion if you want. Sorry. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Application. The planning.
I'm going to second it. I'm satisfied as well with your explanation in terms of the setback. That was initially my concern, but I do see that most of the street is in line with setback. So I'm happy to second it.
a motion to approve, including forestry condition number 2, as well as planning condition, moved by Mr. Nipfel, seconded by Ms. Valentin. All in favor? Your applications are approved.
Thank you.
Okay, is the applicant for 114 R. Baldwin back in the room yet? No? Okay, we'll move on to 85 and 87 ALDWYCH Avenue. Okay, fellow members, we have before us a copy of the survey site and plans and elevations, and no other. Okay, we need your name, please.
Yeah. Good morning, Chair and committee members. My name is Neha. I am the applicant and agent for the properties 85 and 87 ALDWYCH Avenue.
Okay, panel members, do you need a presentation, or can we go straight to questions? Okay, does anyone have any questions?
I'm interested in your views on how the height of your proposal relates to your property, given that you expect your property or your proposal is somewhat larger. How to mitigate?
So one thing, in the surrounding context, there are many properties, like unfortunately I don't have any graphics to show in support of this. Yeah, but there are houses in the vicinity which are basically at 9 meters currently, and there are houses in front of 85 and 87 which are complete, like 3 stories with sloped roof. So I think the height that we are taking with the 3rd floor addition is something that is consistent and already set as a precedent in the area.
So the adjacent properties are 2 stories, if I remember.
Yeah, but in front of the house, there are, like in front of 85 and 87, there are houses across the street. There are houses which are 3 stories.
But because that was one of the things I did notice that, but in terms of height, then you're saying that they are at the same height, or at least similar height to what you're proposing.
Exactly.
Because it's hard to tell. It looks like the existing height of this property is like 6 meters, 6.5 meters.
Yes. So we're adding a 3rd floor actually, and that takes us to 8.99 actually.
So I'm going to assume that the relatively low percentage of soft landscaping is a result of the existing, the fact that it's not set back very far.
Yeah, we haven't changed the front yard setbacks at all, and there's basically no scope as such to add soft landscaping in any of the cases, like 85 or 87. But having said that, the soft landscaping that is existing from the lot line up to the sidewalk is retained, and which is pretty much consistent with what the street has right now.
Can you speak to the proposed FSI increase for applications? I mean, on paper, it looks to be quite high, but how does that fit with what's existing on the street? Because there's quite a few smaller houses on the street. So is this out of character or?
From our opinion is that it is not out of character. The thing is that because of the lot constraints like the frontage, I mean, there is enough depth. The existing FSI is anyways 0.78 in case of 85 ALDWYCH, and it is 0.94 in 87 ALDWYCH. So we are reaching 1.13 for 87, which we do not believe is a spike really in terms of the FSI. Again, in terms of the context, there are houses in the vicinity which have really expanded or are currently expanding and reaching, like maximizing their FSI. So I do not believe that from a policy context, this would really impact negatively the fabric of the neighborhood.
Okay, any other questions, panel members? All right, we'll take it into committee. Any comments? And motion? Okay. No. Okay, I need a seconder. Okay, have a motion to approve, moved by Mr. Clay, seconded by Mr. Nipple. All in favor?
Thank you.
Okay, item number 6 is item number 8, 50 Allen Avenue. Allen? Panel members, we have before us a copy of the plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations. We don't have any other correspondence. We need your name, please.
My name is Rick Papa. I'm the architect and agent.
Panel members, do you need a presentation or can we go? Okay, does anyone have any questions?
I do. Your FSI is increasing significantly, right?
Yeah, they're very small lots.
Okay.
Similarly, next door has it's a 2.5 at 52 Allen. There's a 2.5 story project. It's probably, I think it's about 1.15 that property. So the FSIs are relatively high for.
Going from 0.6 to 1.46.
No, the current, that's the bylaw.
That's the bylaw, but
Yep.
So what's the current, roughly, do you know?
The current is, sorry. I believe it's 1.2. Let me check.
Okay.
Yeah, 1.2.
Okay, thank you.
And your additions, you're building within the existing footprint of the building?
Exactly, yep.
Okay, if there are no further questions, then we'll take it into committee.
Okay, I'm prepared to move a motion on this one, although on paper it does look like you're jumping up quite significantly. I did note that the FSI existing is 1.29. The fact that it's a rear third-story addition and you're building with the existing footprint, it seems to be in keeping with what's going on. You've mentioned the neighbors at 1.15. So I'm happy to move a motion forward for approval of the application without any conditions.
Okay. So I have a motion to approve, moved by Ms. Valentini. Do I have a seconder? Okay, seconded by Mr. Cheng. All in favor? Your application is approved.
Thank you.
And I think I saw 114R Baldwin. You're here. Are you agreeing on a deferral?
Yes.
Okay, can you come forward, please? Did you want to say anything very quickly, or you're okay? You're good? Okay. All right, go ahead, sir. Can I have your name, please?
My name is Robert Chang. I'm the architect and the owner's representative.
Okay, panel members, just for your information, we have before us a copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, correspondence from Robert Chang, the agent, and reports, refusal report from planning, as well as engineering and forestry conditions 2 and 3. and opposition from 118.5 Baldwin Street. And so yes, why are you deferring?
The reason is that the owner is considering design options
Okay.
and would like more time to consult city staff.
The recommendation of the planning department, though, is negative.
Yes,
Not looking at minor changes.
yes,
You are looking at height, massive change.
yes. We understand the gravity of things to undertake.
The reason for the question
Yes.
is I don't see any merit in deferring it if you back made a minor little change.
We will not be doing that.
Reports before us are really very negative.
Yes.
Something else? In addition, we do have reports in the report that this is a premature in any event because there's been no demonstration that lots is able to be serviced. So is that something that you're going to be able to address in a deferral?
Well, for the record, I've been dealing with the manager of buildings, Tony Darpino, on this matter, and we're aware of it, and it's been going on for about a year and a half in terms of fire services and as well as site servicing for this property. Yes, absolutely.
So this
we're
is-
aware of that, and it's ongoing. We've not gotten a affirmative or a negative, written negative from staff in that regard, but it's an ongoing issue.
So there's room then to maybe resolve that because I mean.
Yes, we understand that.
Obviously, from my view,
Yeah, we also understand that even if we get the approval of the committee, that would be a pending condition, right? That without it, this is not a buildable project. But it's been a long time, but we are still at it, and we think that there are solutions that we can still explore.
Okay, so you will be also looking at the scale and it not as what planning.
Yes, in fact, it was a great discussion that I had with Peter, and that's another. All those will be taken into consideration. Yeah.
Our deferrals are usually to a maximum of 3 months. Can you get this resolved in?
Yes, understood. Yeah, within 3 months, we'll make a decision one way or the other. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's up to my colleague here, so we'll take it.
No. Motion.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
I'd like to move deferral of the application, but specifically to allow the applicant to resolve servicing issues and provide for design change and scale of building more in context with the neighborhood. We'll be looking to see that those have happened.
Yes.
All right, so I have a motion to defer. Is that including the recirculation fees?
Yes.
Including recirculation fees, moved by Mr. Niff.
I'm going to second it. I agree with this, the short deferral. I mean, I think the servicing issue is a big issue. It needs to be resolved. The memos from staff are quite clear in addition to the working out the impact in terms of the scale of.
Okay, so I have a motion to defer, including recirculation fees, moved by Mr. Niffel, seconded by Ms. Valentini. All in favor? All right, your application is deferred.
Thank you.
Okay, is the applicant for Hunter Street, you're here now? Is there any opposition to Hunter? No? Okay, so we'll deal with yours. Just bear with me a second. Okay, panel members, we have before us a copy of the plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, and no further correspondence. So this is item number 6. Okay, we need your name, sir. I'm sorry, Dimitri? Okay. Do you need an address, or do you have it? And your address?
90 Jordan Ray, Newmarket.
Panel members, do you need a presentation, or can we go straight to questions? No.
Fine with that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You said you.
No.
No.
All right, does anybody have any questions? If not, take it into committee.
Madam Chairman, unless anyone has comments, I'd like to the application. I think it's
Okay, have a motion to approve the application moved by Mr. Nipple. Do I have a seconder? Seconded by Mr. Kim. All in favor? Your application is approved. Thank you. All right, item number 9, 1100 King Street West. Panel members, we have before us a copy of the plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations. We have a covering letter from Johanna Shapira, the solicitor. We have a transportation consultant report from BA Group, a planning consultant report from Caprate. Have previous decisions by committee before us, as well as an OMB order, a site-specific bylaw. We have email correspondence from the assistant planner, community planning, and the manager of development engineering, and we have correspondence in support from the general manager of economic development. Can we have your name, please?
Yes, my name is Oz Kemal, Kemal. I'm with MHBC Planning here on behalf of CAPREIT.
Okay, panel members, do you need a presentation, or would you like to go to questions? Nope. Okay. Does anyone have any questions?
My observation is in reading this, there was a lot of rightly justification about tourism potential and the impact on hotel occupancy and that sort of thing. But you're right adjacent to Liberty Village, so is it related to supporting some of the businesses in Liberty Village as well? Because economic development has weighed in, rightly so.
I think it's...
Notice it wasn't really laid out very much in your presentation material about the economic development benefits of what you're proposing.
Right. I think it's a combination of both. I think the problem is tourism in Toronto in general, especially on the West End, is booming. Hotel supply hasn't grown substantially since then. This opportunity has come up, subject to approval by the committee, to help increase that hotel supply from an economic development perspective.
Okay. Any other questions? No? Okay. If there are no other questions, we'll take it into committee.
I'm
Ready for a motion, or?
Yeah, I'll move a motion. I'm pretty happy with this one. Again, just because I know that area and there's so many businesses. Not that much opportunity in the immediate city for if you're visiting businesses purposes, needing hotel space. And I was satisfied with the traffic and other background materials you had. So
Thank you.
Happy to move approval.
Okay, I have a motion to approve, moved by Mr. Clay, seconded by Mr. Nipfel. All in favor? Application is approved.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, next item is 178 Howland, item number 10. We have before us a copy of the plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations. We have staff report forestry is asking for conditions 2 and 3. 10 form letters in support, signed by predominantly residents on Howland Avenue as well as Albany. And we need your name.
Hi, my name is Mike De Oliveira. I'm here representing 178 Howland Avenue from Replacement Design at 911 Davenport Road.
Panel members, do you need a presentation, or can we go to questions? No? Okay, does anyone have any questions?
Question regarding the variance height. I noticed that there are other 3 stories in the area. It's common, but in terms of the height you're proposing, how does that reflect what's existing in the
Yes, there are multiple addresses along the same street with a similar height variance, such as 179 Howland, which is right across the street. Their height is actually 11.58 meters, and they had similar committee approval in the past. We also had extensive meetings and phone calls with Robert Orsini from planning, and we actually revised our initial height down from 11.46 meters to the 10.65 based on his comments, which he was happy about. And he also provided us emails which relate to that and how he didn't have any further concerns regarding our application Unfortunately, there didn't seem to be a report with the C of A website, so I do have a copy of that email if you'd like to see it.
Apart from the one that across the street that has the height variance at 11.58 meters, what generally speaking, do most of the houses comply with the, I guess you comply with the overall height of under the, is that correct?
Yes, we only
Front, rear, and side exterior main wall height?
yes.
And how, in terms of the other houses on the street,
Some of the other houses on the street actually have main wall variances for the entire 3-story
Right.
elevation, going right up to that max number, similar to what we have. Our application, we've actually adjusted the look of the front of the house so it actually has a slope to kind of minimize that impact
Okay.
and make it more in character with the neighborhood. We could also bring up some example photos from Street View if you'd like to see.
okay, sure.
Houses going along the street here, they're all kind of 3 stories. There's the one there on the left that's a flat roof.
I noted there were a lot of 3 stories, but it's hard to tell. Would your height be similar in?
It would be quite similar to these overall houses. In terms of committee approvals, there's a couple I can
Thank you.
reference, but
Any other questions? Okay. Nidhi?
I'm happy to bring a motion forward.
Okay.
Anybody else doesn't have any questions? One of my main sort of concerns was the height, but I did note there were other 3 stories in the street, and I'm satisfied with your explanation that this will not be out of character with what's currently there. So my motion's going to be for approval of the application, subject to the conditions. Are you familiar with the conditions?
urban forestry?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So condition
that's
2,
fine.
I believe a 2 and 3 from urban forestry.
That's correct.
Okay. Do I have a seconder? Okay, motion to approve, including forestry conditions by Ms. Valentini, seconded by Mr. Cheng. All in favor? Application is approved.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, the next item is 871 Richmond Street West, number 11. Panel members, we have before us a copy of the plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations. We have a covering letter from Bree Johnson, the agent. We have 35 photographs of neighboring properties, email correspondence from the acting coordinator of permits and enforcement, and forestries is asking for condition number 1. Hi, need your name.
Bree Johnson, Silver
Hello.
Studio Architect.
Panel members, do we need a presentation, or can we go to questions?
The way in which proposed under does not actually impact the front elevation or semi-detached, and the work is all in the back.
Correct.
No change
Yeah.
to the front elevation.
Yeah. I mean, we'll have probably a tiny little parapet where we tie in the new roof to the existing at the front, but yeah, exactly.
Okay, any other questions?
Just to comment, I thought a very tasteful renovation, I thought.
Thank you.
Good for you.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, we'll take it into committee then, and
I'd like to move a motion forward for approval of the application. In my view, this does meet the 4 tests. Although the FSI may seem to be high, your materials were very clear that the current FSI is already over at 1 point, I believe it's 2.5, so you're already over.
Yeah.
And the addition is going to be basically not parent from the street, so I'm happy to, I feel that it meets the 4 tests and it's going to fit within what's currently going on in the area. It's going to be subject to urban forestry condition number 1. Did you see that?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Okay.
okay, I have a motion to approve, moved by Ms. Valentini, including the forestry condition, seconded by Mr. Nipfel. All in favor? Your application is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, the next item is item number 12, 160 Front Street West and 43 SIMCOE Street. Panel members, we have before us a copy of the plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, a covering letter from Patrick Devine, the solicitor, previous committee decisions, as well as a site-specific bylaw and a revised map 2, received August 7th last year, and email correspondence from the Manager of Development Engineering. Okay, we have your name, please?
Good morning. My name's Michael Cook. I'm a lawyer at Divine Park.
Okay, panel members, do you need a presentation or can we go to questions? Need a presentation. I'm not sure if there are any questions.
This is just to clear, this is pretty technical in nature, right?
Yeah, it's a minor height variance, and there's some flutes that extend above the permitted height.
But they're all brought about by put in an emergency
An emergency generator, correct, and that's in the rear of the building.
No
I'm happy to
questions?
move a motion.
All right, so we'll take it into committee then. You're moving motion to approve? Okay, motion to approve, moved by Mr. Clay, seconded by Mr. Niffel. All in favor? Okay, the application is approved.
Thank you.
Item 13 is held. Item number 14, 164 Montrose. Panel members, we have before us a copy of the plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations. We have an advisory report from tree protection, from forestry, and we have opposition correspondence from 399 Crawford Street. We have your name.
Natalia Ananyeva. I'm applicant and designer for this project.
Okay, and your address?
164 Montrose.
Panel members, do you have any, would you like a presentation or do you want to go to questions? Go to questions. Okay, go ahead.
Seems to me on the reviewing the material that the height that you propose to put a character speak to how you believe
Okay.
the proposal.
Okay, we keep allowed height 10 meters only, but unfortunately because we have very specific grading for this house, in the back it's going to be 1.5 meter low, that's why we have a retaining wall over there. That's why average height for the full site it's 10.8, that's why we have one item because of this. But in reality we are follow the height, and if you see on elevation, in front elevation we have 10 meters only. Even less little bit.
But
It's we coordinate everything with planning department, and they say there is no any restrictions about this one. They only have some specific design option on the roof. That's what we did. You can see it on the side elevation. And some protection and whatever, and they say that it's absolutely don't break the line of houses. That's why they accept, and everything is okay for them. I'm talking about elevation. Okay. Side elevation. Side and back. Yes.
you have a mansard at the front.
We have this screen, special screens. Screen what
Put it on the overhead, we can't see that.
It's on our
Upside down. Keep turning it. One more. Same one. Yeah, we've got it. Okay, we have it on our laptops here. It's fine. It's okay, we have it here.
Okay, it just was a requirement on the back elevation. She just want to have illusion that it's a smaller house. That's why she required balcony over there, and we just put protection and everything. It's like 2-story house only. And on the side, on the side elevation, she wanted special screens. Planning department.
Planning department.
Planning departments, I guess it's May, but I have to confirm. And I follow whatever all her recommendations, and she accepted and have a letter that everything is okay, and they don't have any restrictions. And we follow the height, 10 meters only. Height of this house, we are not allowed because all our neighbors, they just pass, for example, 166, they pass 10.3, in other neighbors upon something 10, no, 32, whatever.
Are you talking about the overall height? You meet the overall
Full height of the house, 10 meters only.
This is a flat roof building. I don't know what the other ones are, whether they're sloped.
They have
a letter from.
combination, sloped and flat. They have combination of this.
But are there any flat roof houses that are this height in the vicinity? It seems.
If
There
you're
are.
speaking, we need your name.
And
Can you come
Yes,
to the
she's the owner.
microphone, please?
it's the owner.
We need your name and address
I
again.
was Chunwo Lam. So currently there's existing footing right now. That's 166 Montrose Avenue. I have a picture here that there are a flat roof.
Overhead.
And that's a 3-story house? You can't.
Hard to tell.
I know.
Right next door.
Yeah.
It's right. They finished the development, I think,
So we need you to speak in the microphone because it's being recorded.
they recently finished development just recently this year. So
Is your house going to be the same height?
I think more or less, I'll show you the existing footprint right now.
What's
The neighbor, the one that he just speaking about?
What's
Yeah,
the
what is-
address?
166 Rhodes Avenue.
Sorry, can I say?
Got a variance?
Our house is going to be 30 centimeters less because we keep only 10 meters. We have their zoning,
So
they
you're
pass
saying-
10.3.
So you're
They
saying this is lower than the one?
we are, yes, 30 centimeters less, lower than.
You know, there's a letter of objection from an area resident saying that they object to the height of the house, amongst other things, that it's a full story above adjacent and nearby homes. And so it seemed to me that that might be the case, and that's,
No.
I'm particularly interested in the height variance you're requesting.
No, the objection mainly about parking because they're located on the back and they worry that at the time of.
The letter actually speaks to the
There's
height.
actually it is one of the objections that
Yeah.
they have.
So-
So the existing footprint, if you look at the neighborhood, there are houses that are 10.32. I think 166 Montrose is 10.32. Montrose 112. I think I have.
And they are much higher than we are. We have only 10 meters. We are not have any restrictions or any.
I don't understand. You keep saying you don't have any restrictions.
Because we are 10 meters.
Let me finish my
Oh,
question.
sorry.
But in fact, you do have restrictions. You're proposing a height that's beyond the bylaw.
Okay, no.
Yes, we do have restrictions that we have to apply with. Yes.
My concern is that it doesn't appear on the face of things that this proposal fits in with the context of the community. I still believe that. I don't think that I wasn't satisfied with
No.
what was done.
Yeah.
Can I explain?
To mitigate it.
So,
Wait just a second.
yeah.
To mitigate anything to conform with the context. So I'm still trying to get a handle on that. The objection is as well, among other things, height. So that's where I'm coming from right now. I'm concerned with the height.
Yep, I totally understand that. So right now, there's an objection that nearby adjacent buildings are not at that character, which isn't true. I'll show you guys a video if you guys want, that if you look at the neighboring houses, you'll see 3-story buildings. You'll see that the height is relatively.
Just a question, but we would like to see the video, but in terms of the video and the one next door,
Yeah.
are they new builds or are they mostly additions?
They're existing houses.
So they're mostly additions that are looking, with that you're saying are equal to the height?
They have been.
Are they predominantly additions or new builds, and is the one next door at 166?
I think further down the street there was a new build. There is a new build coming up that has been approved, and that's I think 130, I think it's 138 Montrose, and the height is about, I think, 10 point something. I don't have that on.
Okay, do you have the video? Because my
Yeah, sure.
colleagues would like to see it.
So,
Some questions.
while you're setting up,
About 10, can I
no,
continue?
I just wanted a question. So there's one opposer who looks like it's in the backyard.
Yes, because our height, from established grade to the top of the roof, we are less than 10 meters, 98 only in front. But because it's special by law for this area, they calculated only another height on the side, from the front to the back of the house. And because we have special grading here, that's why we have this issue, 10.8. But in reality, we are follow rules.
My question was...
Hey, just listen to the question, okay, before you speak.
My question was more about, so you've got one person opposing who's in the rear on the other street. Have you spoken to other adjacent neighbors on the street, your own street?
Sure.
So I have tried to speak to the owners at the house. I went to their door, rang a couple of times, and multiple attempts it failed. I finally got someone to open the door. They were all tenants, so I could not get access to the owner. So, and their house is right now up for lease. So, from my point of view, I don't think it will interfere with them that extensively. And they had raised a point about the line of sight, lighting, and all of that. And I've also taken pictures of their angle towards my house, and it doesn't obstruct much of their view.
I just have a quick question. So the neighbor at the back is on your north side or south side?
That is on the. Sorry, that's on the east. That's on the west side.
Okay.
Diagonally across.
Okay, so so what you're trying to say, the shadow is not going to be that.
To be honest, there is no shadow right now.
The other question I realize is I see that when you're designing the building, you're minimizing the height of your second and third floor up to 8'6" ceiling height. That's a very modest height. But the problem is, why do you raise the ground floor at that level? Because I feel like if you can dig deeper, you can actually shift the whole building down. Like, what is the reason why you have to raise the basement to this level so that your overall height is that tall?
No, it's existing over there, and we just
So your
follow.
basement is existing?
Yes.
You're not underpinning?
No, it's... Where
Did you say it's a new... Oh, well, maybe, I think it's better for you to explain it right.
Somewhere we have different slope, and that's why we just keep normal height over there.
I'm asking about your grade level of the basement. Why would you
Are
make
you
it...
building on existing foundation?
Yes,
Oh.
yes, we're trying to keep this one, yes. Maybe if it's going to be bad condition, we fix it, but we're going to keep existing footprint.
Okay.
In order, because we have problem with grading. Do you see it's 1.5 meters difference?
So there's some concern about whether it's a new build, like you're actually excavating a new basement, or whether you're building on the existing foundation. Is that
Existing
can you be
one.
clear?
We are keeping existing one. Existing footprint and existing
The
foundation.
existing foundation's not exposed, though, right?
Yes,
That's correct.
yes.
So you're raising the ground floor to make the basement more desirable, and for that reason, the whole building just shift up, and you want a third floor as well, right? And what you're trying to say is with these changes, you are still a little bit shorter than the building next door who just finished it earlier this year.
Right. If I can just show you the video.
Oh, you found it?
13 centimeters shorter.
I don't know, this isn't working very, maybe, I don't, it might be, yeah.
Very interesting filming style.
Can, if you hold it like, okay, there you go.
Oh, I see. This is your house.
Yeah, that's the house.
This is yours. This, right?
Yeah.
Yes, this is
Oh,
one right
will
there.
it be better if we turn this?
No,
Even
phone
worse.
is
Not
that way,
really.
yeah.
Which is your, over here.
Okay.
I know.
I'm sure that matches convention.
No.
So this is the neighbor that already built.
You're
Here. No. They're flat. So I don't So in terms of the picture I have on.
Go back to the microphone.
Okay. I just want to show you the pictures. Angle that they have. So this is their house right there.
That's the one behind?
That's the one directly.
Okay.
So
Okay.
this is from my angle from the objectors. Yeah, there is a laneway between them, so that's why I'm.
So you're not back to back?
No, we're not. So that's why I was kind of shocked that I saw those objections, right? Because I'm.
So now maybe you should go back to the mic.
Okay, so I'm taking pictures from this angle from where their property is, and this is my house right here. There is an existing third-floor building that's right here as well.
Yeah, back to the mic.
Okay.
Is your mic on?
For you, Madam Chair, 166 Montrose was approved at 9.62 meters.
9.6.
Rear, front and rear exterior and main wall height. And the plan is flat roof. But it's stepped back from the front. It was an addition, it wasn't a new dwelling. Third. It's stepped, so the front of the house goes up and then it goes back.
So that was 9.62 as well.
Yeah.
And that's why the planning staff recommend you to go at 9.62 as well.
So that's what. So that was kind of my concern with the objectors, and I want to talk to them because Harold, I don't believe, is the owner. It's one of the representatives that he has written the letter, and I tried to get in touch with the owner, and I couldn't. And Harold submitted that on the 13th. So I tried my best contacting the owners and address some of their concerns.
Okay. Panel members, do you have any further questions?
The front yard setback, is that the existing? That's
the back?
Your proposed front yard setback.
It's existing, yes, we follow existing.
Yeah, it's existing footprint.
That's why we have.
Okay.
Okay, we'll take it into committee. Any comments?
I appreciate all the information you brought. I'm still concerned because of the form you have. Basically have is a box, light inclined mansard roof. House height, or is that back, which I think would have been a better solution in this particular case. But I don't think that what you're doing is setting a dangerous precedent. I think there's a better solution than the one you've got.
They do have a step back.
Not a step back, it's just a slope. That's at the back. That's the back. The front, I'm talking about that's the front on the other side. The little mansard, yeah.
Back cut in by 5 feet, right? Yeah, they cut in by 5 feet at the first. You have that.
Anyone have
So
any
it's
other-
equivalent to a slope roof. Comment is the presentation wasn't very nice, but I was able to capture the fact that they're building on an existing footprint. And the height that you have proposed is kind of recommended by the planning staff to match with your neighbor. And you do have to step back at the third floor And I see that all of your level is kind of reasonable, 9 feet, 8 foot 6, 8 foot 6. So either we push you down to excavate the basement to underpin it, or just give you the height to give you the same shed. Right?
Anyone else would like to? No?
Yes. It's okay now. Just it's okay. Yeah.
What is your current FSI?
Out of committee?
Well, it was a question. You what?
No, she's just looking for
Okay,
a committee.
fine,
So do you
okay,
have-
sorry. No, it's okay, it's okay. I don't want to make it any longer.
Okay. So is there any other discussion? Probably close to what?
Almost
the
what is
standard
allowed.
Putting another.
Okay, so is there anything else in discussion? If not, need a motion.
I'll try a motion. I'm actually, my colleague, I look at the neighborhood, I see where it's located, I know that general area, there's a lot of intensification on. Yeah, get the point about neighbors' concern, but you know, I am convinced a little bit, and thank you for the presentation or the video, that there are similar buildings in that. And here we've got some concerns about you know, the massing and other things, but I'm hard pressed to say no to this, so I'll start the ball rolling by moving approval.
Okay, I have a motion to approve the application, moved by Mr. Clay. Do I have a seconder? Okay, seconded by Mr. Yeah?
Yes.
All in favor? Your application is approved.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, item number 15, 536 Arlington Avenue. Panel members, we have before us a copy of the plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations. We have email correspondence from the acting coordinator, permits and enforcement, parking, a staff report from, well, another one from permits and enforcement parking, and correspondence in opposition from 234 Ava Road and 383 Winnett Avenue. Okay, we need your name, please.
Good morning. My name is Ali Reza Saeed on behalf of the owner.
Panel members, do you need a presentation or can we go to questions? Okay, does anyone have any questions of the applicant? No questions?
I have one question. The person behind, I guess it's right behind you at 383 Winnett has raised a concern with gun.
Actually, we saw that letter yesterday. I have a photo. I need to show that to you. Uh, 536 Arlington is at east side, and the neighbor is at west side. And actually, there are lots of trees in between these two properties. We didn't have a chance to speak with that neighbor, but the owner is fine to add to shrink the balcony area or put a privacy screen if it's a big concern for the committee.
So the opposer is okay as long as you screen it. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Or we can shrink the balcony area.
I thought you said you didn't speak to the person behind.
No, we didn't speak to them.
Oh, sorry.
He's okay. My understanding.
Oh,
Yeah.
The owner is okay. The owner is okay to shrink the truss area.
The owner is, but not the opposer. So you haven't spoken.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. That's what I was trying to clarify. Is it? Yeah. Is this the third floor terrace or all of the terraces?
No, it's third floor truss.
Well, is this the second story?
The terrace off.
A third story.
There's a terrace off of the third bedroom, right?
Yes.
It's on the third floor. And a little difficult to see from the drawing. Is it already embedded into a roof form, or is it just thought out?
Yeah, I can show you. The truss at left side, it is part of the third story.
So is there any scope to make that, I mean, it's rather large, right? So is there any scope to make that smaller?
We can push the railing back a little bit at the end side of the house. Or even we can put a planter like that green planter in the picture at the end of the house to provide more privacy.
I don't know if planters are not permanent, right? They're temporary. So I think
Mm-hmm.
if you're going to do screening, you would want to do something that's a little bit more permanent than that.
Yes. Yeah, the owner is okay to do the screening at the back of the house. Yeah, it's about the rear because it's about it's a concern from the.
Yeah, that's it's long and big.
So you said the owner's willing to reduce the size of the terrace?
We can reduce
Talking
this.
about the second, the one, the variance number 5. So what would they be willing to reduce it?
We are permitted to have 4 square meter according to the bylaw.
Are you saying you want to remove the variance?
We can remove the variance.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, very good. Nicely done. And you still are going to follow through with screening, right? Small, you can put some sort of screening up.
If it's going to be 4 square meter, it's going to be very back of in the middle of the house.
Screening?
Yeah, I believe there is no need to have any screening because we are going to put the railing after 4 square meter.
Oh, so you have a railing, which is
Yeah, there's going to be a railing.
And you're going to be 4 square meters. You're going to be set
Set
back
back
in
more.
from the edge.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's going to be
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah.
In terms of, I was just sort of looking at my recollection of what the street is like. There are houses of similar height to what you're proposing. It looks like there's quite a few.
Yeah. There are a few houses like that.
And your current house is 1.5 stories, and there's a neighbor adjacent that I believe is a smaller 1.5 story house.
Yeah.
Is there any feedback from that neighbor?
We haven't received any concern or comment about our proposal.
Into the neighbor?
Yeah,
There's
I
somebody
believe-
raising their hand. Is that somebody involved in this?
Sorry.
Oh, are you here to speak on this?
Can you come to Sorry, can you come to the front because maybe you weren't here when the agenda was vetted? Are you opposing or what are you? Okay, we need your name and address for starters.
Okay, well, I'm speaking on behalf of my father, William C. Moores, and we live at 534 Arlington Avenue.
Okay, so is there an issue you still have? Because if there is, I'm going to send both of you outside and hold it down.
We don't have an issue with the height. Everything is good. I was just, I guess our concern was with the parking pad in the front, not the terrace. It was just in terms of the parking pad in the front. The the amount of driveway in the wintertime, it's just, we're very cramped for where to put the snow. And I just wanted to talk to the neighbor. I'm not sure if he's here today.
Okay, that, like the snow, et cetera, is not anything that we have jurisdiction
No, I
over,
understand.
So,
Yeah.
and in terms of the parking, transportation is okay, decent spot. So,
Yeah, that's fine. It's
So
been
that's
there
more
for
of a
30
private issue. So if you're willing with the owner to have a discussion, then, because it's not
Yeah,
part of the
we can
committee.
do that afterwards.
But they have removed the variance for the terrace at the back.
At the back, they are.
So they've removed the variance for the terrace, so the terrace will now comply with what's permitted under the bylaw. Okay, so it'll be less than half what they were proposing. Okay? Okay, great.
So staff has a,
Yeah, there is the variance, but, okay. But anyway. But their concern is snow. Okay, anyway. Do you have any other questions? Sure.
Move approval of the revised application, revision being the 5, the platform on the total. I think that changed. Change. Appropriate.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So I have a motion moved by Mr. Nipfel to approve as amended with the removal of variance number 5. Do I have a second?
I'm going to second it. I think the balcony will hopefully, reduction in the terrace will help alleviate first concerns. And my only other concern was any impact on the neighbor in terms of height. I know it does seem to fit in with the new builds in the area, but neighbors to that. So I'm happy to second it. I think it does meet the tests.
Okay. Seconded by Ms. Valentini. All in favor? Your application is approved.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. So you'll go and speak with the neighbor now then, right? Okay, great. Thanks. Okay, item number 16, 423 Sackville Street. Panel members, we have before us a copy of the plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations. We have a covering letter from Isma Panchapakasan, hope I pronounced that right, and Brian Haygood, the agents, and 3 form letters in support from 421 Sackville and 105 and 109 Winchester.
Hi.
Hi.
My name is Brian Haygood. I'm the architect and owner's representative here.
Hey, panel members, do you need a presentation? No? All right, do you have any questions?
I'd just like to comment that I believe amongst the letters of support, got one name.
Yes, we do.
I just one point of clarification. I noticed variance number 4. You have no soft landscaping in the backyard.
It's a very short lot, and so there's a parking pad next to the deck, and
That's existing?
It's existing, yeah. We're not proposing to take away any landscaping. We're just proposing to remediate, rebuild there's a deck there that provides access. We're just rebuilding that, we're making it a little smaller. And then there's just enough room for that parking pad.
Right.
So we're just keeping that.
You have 2.
There is an existing, that's right, there's an existing walkout to the basement.
Any other questions?
So you're improving the situation slightly by reducing the size of the back?
Yes.
Basically, a lot of these are existing conditions?
That's right.
No more questions, we'll take it into committee.
I'd like to move approval of the application. I think it's clearly, I think the proposal.
I'm going to second it. I agree that it does fit in, and you noted that it is a shorter lot, which increases the, well, it does have an impact on soft lands currently existing in any event, and you're looking to make the deck smaller, so I'm happy to support.
Okay, motion to approve, moved by Mr. Nipfel, seconded by Ms. Valentini. All in favor? Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, item number 17, 61 Tiverton. Panel members, we have before us a copy of the plan of survey, site plans and elevations, revised south elevation, received August. Email correspondence from Eric, and all from residents on Tiverton Avenue. It includes, I believe, Jason. Hi.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the committee. My name is David Smith. I'm here representing the homeowner at 61 Tiverton Avenue. Let me know if you need a presentation or have any questions.
Questions?
Yep.
I don't have, excuse me, any reference to letters from number 59 or 63 in support. I missed something about those.
Yeah, you certainly have. Yeah. There, I have copies of all I can share with you. Certainly, yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay, thank you. That's all I want.
Okay.
Any other questions? No? All right, we'll take it into committee. Comments? Or?
Madam Chairman, I think it's important that,
please.
I think it's important in townhouses that in a little bit more detail to make back what's a particular case roof. Positive for this application. I think with mentioned context, the variance is
Okay, do I have a seconder? Okay, I have a motion to approve, moved by Mr. Nipfel, seconded by Mr. Clay. All in favor? The application is approved.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Item number 18, 40 Alder Road. For us, a copy of the plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, a map, neighborhood staff report, we ask to an intent signature petition signed by people, Alder to Hill Crescent petition. Can we have your name, please?
Yeah, my name is Chris Marchese. I'm a planner at Design Plan Services, 900D Small Suite 300.
All right, panel members, do you need a presentation or we go to questions? No questions? No?
I have one question.
Okay, go ahead.
You're proposing, as I understand it, a double car integral available. How does that fit in with the, because the house immediately north has a car. Many of the other properties on this grass on the surface.
Yeah, through you, Madam Chair, actually, there is no soft landscaping for the front yard. We are meeting the requirements. It might be a little bit different than what's existing in the area, but we've met the requirement for soft landscaping. We're here today only for a depth and a length variance under 569/2013.
But my comment was that you're proposing a double car driveway. Doesn't seem wide drive. Doesn't seem proper.
Yeah, through you again, Madam Chair. It might be the context a touch different than what's existing in the area, but what we're proposing today is permitted as of right.
The bylaw requires no soft landscaping in the front yard?
There is soft landscaping in the front yard. We've met the requirements. We have a zoning bylaw, or zoning waiver, sorry, a ZZC zoning review done by the City of Toronto, and the two variances that were given to us were through length and depth only.
Any other questions?
And also through you, Madam Chair, just quickly, the support, I don't know if you have the map to see who supported the application.
We got a map, yeah.
Just want to make sure you guys have it.
Any other questions? If not, okay, we'll go into committee. Any comments or a motion? Okay.
No conditions on this, right?
No.
Actually, there is forestry conditions, number 2 and number 3.
2 and 3. Sorry, my mistake.
I'll move a motion to support with the conditions from urban 2 and 3.
Okay, motion to approve, moved by Mr. Clay. Do I have a second?
I'm going to second it. I don't think, oh, do you want to go ahead? You do it.
Seconded by Mr. Cheng. All in favor? Your application is approved.
Thank you.
Okay. Item number 19. 72 Queensdale Avenue. Have before us a copy of the plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, and no further correspondence. We need your name, please.
Good morning again. My name is Adam Brander, and my address is 49 Bolton Avenue.
Okay, panel members, do you need a presentation, or can we go to questions? Guessing question. Yeah.
To speak to the height variance that you're requesting, I realize in the context you've got a school, I think adjacent, and then you've got I believe it was a bungalow. And I believe, if my memory serves me correctly, is your height going to compare with the other 2 stories in the
There's been variances, I believe, 2 doors to the west or 3 doors for a height variance as well. So it's something that's common in the immediate context. The height variance itself is narrowed to a small triangular volume at the center of the apex of the sloped roof, where it has the least kind of impact on neighbors and things like that. The roof angle is a preference from the homeowner, and it would support the prevalent pitch roof characteristics of the context rather than introducing a more obtuse or flat roof to bend to zoning guidelines. This would be more supportive of the general intent, and a research request provided examples of heights in the 9.3 to 9.97 range that our proposal fits within, and those were also approved.
Okay. Any other questions?
I'm just confirming the size of the deck. Just trying to reconcile, you'll forgive me.
Yep.
The variance you're requesting for the deck, variance 6. So that's a main floor deck or a second story?
On the second floor, located at the front of the property.
On the front of the property, that's my problem.
Yeah.
That's
Do you want me to speak to
I
it?
see. So it will mirror the size of the deck on a porch, basically, on the first floor?
The size of the existing porch, yeah.
That's the existing porch. So you're just basically putting a balcony over the existing porch. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, well, all right, go ahead. Unless anybody has a comment, no? Okay.
Okay. My only question was relating to the height. So you've answered that. I think the fact that this is a pitched roof does mitigate any height. So I think that'll help mitigate in terms of any impact on the neighbor who's 1.5 story. So, and it will fit in with what other 2 stories on the street. And you've addressed the deck. I think have as much impact back. So my motion is for approval without conditions.
Okay, motion to approve, moved by Ms. Valentini.
You consider a friendly amendment. I agree with you. Development is to be substantially in accordance with plans.
Okay,
Because
sorry.
I think if it were a flat roof, it would be different.
You're seconding with that condition?
Yes.
The whole thing, built to plans?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah,
I
the
don't
whole,
think yeah, the proposal is to build substantially.
We have issues with that.
okay. So I have a motion to approve, moved by Ms. Valentini, seconded by Mr. Nifel, including the condition to build plans. All in favor? Your application's.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Item number 20, 497 Roxton Road. Panel members, we have before us a copy of the plan of survey, site plan for. We have 4 form letters in support. Okay, we need your name.
Jennifer Scholes, I'm the architect representing the homeowners.
Okay, panel members, do you need a presentation or do you want a question? Do you have any questions?
This is the end unit in a 3-row house? Is that
Yes.
what it is? Right. $495 and $493, both okay?
495 is. We weren't able to contact 493. My client did go door to door a couple months ago and did what they could, I think twice. Did you go twice? As far as contacting neighbors, the adjacent neighbors were both contacted, and we did have an extensive conversation with 501 as well, in person at a coffee shop, and they had no concerns either. We didn't get a letter of support from them, but there's no opposition. 493, 493, it's vacant, so they weren't able to contact the homeowner.
Okay, any other questions?
There is a dormer. It's an angled frontage. There was some dialogue with May Wang about the frontage, so we reduced the impact by creating a sloped roof with a dormer.
And there's a little balcony off the back.
Yes, and we added some privacy screens on the back as well, as per May's request.
Can you speak to the FSI? I noted the existing is just slightly over at 0.68, and you're going up to 0.99. How does that fit in terms of context with their properties in the area?
Well, there are actually 35 that were approved at over 100%. So I could list them, but there are. Yeah. It's within the portal, you know, the research request portal. Yeah. Everything was inventoried. I did do a little bit of a study of the adjacent streets. There are a couple also on this street, but they were over 10 years old, so they weren't available in the portal. But Crawford has a couple, and this wasn't part of the submission, so I can show you on the Crawford, Montrose, and quite a few on Shaw, which are adjacent streets. Houses that were over 100%. On Here are 4 examples on Montrose. At the top, that's the same house from 3 different angles. That's a addition 430, and then Crawford as well as examples of the of houses that have exceeded 100%.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, take it into committee.
I'm happy to move.
Okay.
I find this is a delightfully eclectic street in a delightfully eclectic neighborhood, and I like the fact that you're looking at the other houses in the neighborhood where they've got a dormer or some sort of setback. I'm glad you and the owners have modified it to kind of try and keep it in character with that unique characteristic of the neighborhood. So the variances appear minor to me, so I'm happy to move.
Motion to approve, moved by Mr. Clay, seconded by Mr. Nipp.
Second, I'd also like to comment on the design. I think it's a clever and very integrating usual. In this particular case, townhouses could be the exception. In fact, cleverly have both.
Okay, so a motion to approve, moved by Mr. Clay, seconded by your application's approved.
Thank you so much.
Okay, item number 21, 32 BD Avenue. We have before us a copy of the plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations. Correspondence with planner heritage. Staff reports from planning, asking for conditions, and forestry would like condition number 2. Your name, please.
Yes, hello, Brad Netkin, 35 Golden Avenue, Stamp Architecture.
Okay. I don't think we need a presentation.
Can I? Oh,
Are there any?
apologize.
No, unless you really want to do one.
I just wanted to say a couple of quick words about since it has a heritage, just to speak to the heritage aspect of it, or if you don't mind. I do have also, I'm sorry, in paper, some letters of support if need be. So yeah, I just want to say you're looking at pictures of the rear of the house. When this house was built in the 1870s, that was the front of the house. The house faced the lake and King Street. And over the years, you can see there have been a number of rather invasive additions which have concealed the original front of the house. There's some beautiful, the round top door in the middle, there's actually 4 more of those in behind what was added on. So we're trying to strip all of that away and add on a nice clean great room basically, and that's the strategy, and those are the reasons why. So
Sounds like you're going out of your way to preserve.
yeah, we want to.
Nice to hear.
That's really the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah, no, that's great. Panel members, do you have any questions?
You had some letters?
I do have. I'm sorry, I don't have it.
Table with us, yes?
Does anyone have any questions? Members?
This is only variance is depth, right?
Yeah.
And it's because of this current setback, I imagine, right?
Yes, the heritage aspect, the strategy is always to do something that doesn't affect the street, but on top of that, as I said, we want to actually work at restoring to some degree the original front of the house.
Planning condition is to construct substantially in accordance with this. All right, take it into committee. Anybody have any comments, or is anybody ready to make?
And I'm happy to move a motion. I actually think this is pretty cool. Given it's a heritage building, you're actually trying to improve. I was looking at the plans and I was quite envious, if nothing else. About it.
Terrific.
nice job, and the variance is minor. Yeah.
Including planning commission and forestry?
Yes.
Okay, and
You go ahead.
yeah, there you go. Okay, so we have a motion to approve, moved by Mr. Clay, seconded by Mr. Chang, including forestry condition number 2 and the planning condition in the 7th. All in favor?
Thank you very
Okay,
much.
thank you. I have one item left. You guys, last one item? Can you last one item?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, hang on, okay, item number 13, 318 Rhodes Avenue. Bear with me 1 second. Now, are you're coming up, or are you still speaking?
I'm here. I'm item number 30.
No, I'm not talking to you. I'm just talking to the gentleman here.
Oh.
I thought maybe I missed one, and I'm not finding a missed one, so there. Yeah. Okay, so panel members, we have before us a copy of the plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations. We have a photograph of the subject property. We have email correspondence from the planning department. We have staff reports from planning asking for conditions, as well as forestry condition number 3. Okay, so now I need your name and your address, please.
Good morning. My name is Nurun Nabi. I am the agent for my client, Sukhbir Singh.
Okay. And you had an opportunity to speak to each other outside the room?
No, he spoke with my client.
Okay. So, panel, well, can you give us a brief presentation because you have opposition here?
We try to maintain the existing character. There are 2 houses on the same area built, and I have the picture of those 2 houses. We try to my client saw those houses and said that I want something similar to that. So we did something, and we spoke with your planner, and they told me that they are on the other side of the road, and they had a 0.69% of variance, floor area index. So we came only for the gross floor area index. We maintain the side yard setback, and our side yard setback, front yard, and all the setbacks are okay. Even we have done more than what is required. On the side yard setback is 0.45. I have maintained 0.6 on north and south side, 0.6 and 5.
Do you know if there's any other houses that have this in? Any example?
No, I talked with your planning officials and somebody. They said they are on the other side of the road, and their conditions are different. And also, our floor area index has gone up because we had to maintain lower. If I lower the basement area, then index will be reduced. But if I lower the basement more than 4 feet and height of the ceiling more than 9 feet, about 9 feet 6 inches, then my floor area index will be less. Will be almost okay, but it will affect our neighbor footing and foundation and total cost of heating for the rest of the life of the building.
The houses on either side, I think, are fairly large. Are they about the same floor space index, or you don't know?
I don't know. But the other 2 houses that we have seen, we have submitted to the plan of the photograph of those, so they are much bigger.
You don't have any pictures, do you, or do you?
I have only the front picture.
Okay, can you put on the overhead, maybe?
You have one of 89. Is that why you were showing us that one?
This is one of them.
Why are you introducing that?
No, because that one will be, we went to the inside that house on the other, on 89 Rhodes Avenue, that has a much bigger floor area.
Fine, but not near your property. I was trying to figure out, maybe you can just explain, what are you trying to tell us by showing us 89 Rhodes Avenue?
Similar.
Their ground floor is higher, so still they maintained it. So we got the idea from them, we can do the same thing on the same road.
He wants to replicate that.
But on the side yard, we maintain more than what required.
Do you have a picture of 318 Rhodes and the,
Yeah, I have a picture of 318 Rhodes.
and the two houses beside it?
Okay.
Yeah, that's better.
This is our one, and this is the one, I think he's over here. His side yard setback is 0.26, and our setback is, on this side, we are maintaining 0.6. We are almost double than him. And side, we have no problem. On the north side. North side is south.
Okay, why don't I have you sit down? I'm going to hear from the opposition, and after the opposition has spoken, you can come back and address any issues raised, okay? Okay.
Jerry Campbell, Jerry with a G, Campbell like Campbell Soup, 316 Rhodes Avenue, homeowner with my wife. Let me begin by saying a new house next door would be great. The house that's there is kind of run down and has had issues for a number of years. My concern comes from the thousands of millions of dollars we've set on creating a planning framework to control development. The allowed density for this property next door is only 0.6. They're asking for 1.8 or 197% of the allowed density. That is my fundamental issue with this thing. I'd love to see a house there. I'd love to see a new house there. I feel that maybe 33% is pushing it over the limit, but 197 is definitely ridiculous. I only met Mr. Singh this morning about an hour and a half ago. He's an absentee landlord. He does not maintain his property, current property at all. Got a broken fence. Bags have been hanging out of the gutter now for about 6 months. Shingles for a repair he was forced to do because a neighbor had water running into their foyer, and the steps inside of the house that needs repair. Good reason to build a new house. But, you know, as a neighbor and as a member of the community, I wonder whether his intention here is to build and flip. We're also concerned about construction issues. He showed you a shot of his house and our house next door. There's a concrete driveway pad there. Our actual property line is about 6 inches from the side of our house. Our house was built 108 years ago. It's had additions over the years, but that concrete base and walls are poured concrete with stones in them, and we're concerned that the construction vibration from construction and the cutting and the breaking up will affect us. So we'd like to ensure that there's an insurance policy in place.
This committee can't deal with
yeah,
those kinds of matters.
I'm just mentioning that.
Yeah, just so you know.
We also have concerns over the furnace exhaust that we have on that side of the house between units, that it may not meet the bylaw requirements for space when he builds his new house with the current conditions. Those are the essence of my questions, and I thank the committee for their time.
Okay. Panel members, any questions of the speaker? Okay, where are you?
Sorry, I have
you
one
do?
question.
Okay, can you come back to the, sorry, can you come back to the mic?
You're
Thanks.
the house to the south.
Yes, we're the house to house. We've been there 22 years.
Do you have a rough idea of what your particular...
Sorry? I'm getting older at the point where I need a hearing aid.
Do you know what your floor space index is?
What my floor space is?
Yeah.
I have
The
about...
proposal here is 1.18 times the area of the lot. Bylaw is 0.6.
Yeah.
You're concerned with...
To be honest, I don't know. I know we have about 1,100 square feet of house when I've done my insurance applications. You're welcome.
I want to mention one thing, that the floor index that our planning department suggested, if I lower the basement, in that case, the same plan will have 0.88 floor index, and now it is 1.7. So that's on your file. And I have the copy of that one.
Or the ceiling height of the basement will reduce.
It will be 0.88. I have, do you want me to show the letter from the
I
plan?
understand that, yeah. So what you're saying is the calculation of the FSI had included the area and the recreation room, the garage, and everything in the basement. That's what it bumps up.
Yeah.
Nice.
Neighbor at 316 has indicated thinks your floor is too large. The floor space index is large.
Yeah, because of the floor, basement has been counted.
No, I think it's larger than that. If you look at your site plan, E1, footprint of your proposal is substantially larger than his home and substantially larger than the house on the other side at 20. Can you speak to that?
But we maintain the setback as per the overall length of the building as per the city bylaw. We can go up to.
But you don't maintain the floor space index. Part of the reason it's this big, because this generates floor space index plus before us. The question is whether that floor space index is reasonable. Your neighbor has indicated that it is, at least as it's interpreted into building footprint. You've got a much larger building footprint.
But yes, I can tell you the footprints of the building, length of the building is as per the zoning bylaw. They allow 17 meters.
Any other questions, panel members?
He would lose his master bedroom if he... I'm just saying that he would lose his master bedroom if he's going to the same length. I really think this is a huge...
Okay, do we have any other questions?
Another question. Is there a parking requirement in this property?
Excuse me?
Minimum one parking in this property?
Yeah.
Okay. And you're not allowed to do front... Even a garage. Just trying to see without the basement, you're 0.8. But yeah.
Any other questions?
Okay, one last question. So the rear yard setback that you are meeting is up to the face of the deck, right? Not face of the house.
Yeah, rear yard setback also I maintained.
19.6 is still okay. 7.5 is
7.5, yeah.
the minimum. And you,
Yeah.
Okay.
All the setbacks I maintain is more than what required by the zoning, yeah. And I want to mention that his side is only 0.27 and we are maintaining 0.60. And I already spoken with the structural engineer and the soil engineer. Yeah, whatever they need, we'll have to engage them for the soil and other investigation that the neighbor 316 mentioned. So we'll take care of that.
Any other questions?
No.
No? All right, take it into committee. Any discussion?
I mean, I'm trying to understand the rationale of the zoning bylaw that I think the FSI, like, Carl said, this is about, it's not just about the setbacks that limit the size or the scale. The FSI is also important of maintaining the size. That I'm trying to be more on your side, if I'm going to be, is just like major piece of.
Only thing, if I lower the basement, your index goes down, yeah.
We're in committee.
Oh, sorry.
Thanks.
Madam Chairman, I'm going to colleague.
Okay, I have a motion before us moved by Mr. Nifl to refuse the application.
I'm going to second it. I mean, I appreciate that you meet the setback requirements, but FSI is also a requirement, and that all of those work together just to prevent overly large houses from developing on lots. And you got to look at the context of the neighborhood. Like, agree with Mr. Nip. Your setbacks, while you meet them, you're going to be basically building over driveway. So I think that also brings it out of context with the integral garage. So I support the motion for refusal. I think it meets our tests, and it doesn't certainly meet the character of the existing neighborhood.
So okay.
Okay, have a motion to refuse the application, moved by Mr. Nif, second by Valentini. All in consent. Okay, the application's refused.
So I have a question. So
You have to speak to staff,
okay.
okay? Yeah, and either one of those people. And the committee is adjourned. It's 11:24. Me either.
Congratulations.
I thought it'd be.
Okay, you're the best chair ever.
Excellent.